Welcome to Total Body Strength. Jazzy here, and I'm going to be coaching everyone today for the workout. So, in terms of equipment today, we do need one set of dumbbells. I always recommend two, just to have one when we start to get tired or form breaks down, all of that. I know I have two today, and I probably will use both of them because I'm a little tired tonight. So we need one set of dumbbells. Recommend two, and we need enough space where we can lay down on the ground on our backs. And we're going to do 3 rounds of this workout. We're going to do 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest / transition time. And I'm going to go ahead and demo real quick what we're going to be doing, and then we'll warm up and get right into it. So we are going to start off with upper body today. So we're going to do a half kneeling overhead press. So for this one, I like to have one knee on the ground, one foot on the ground for that half kneeling. I do like to switch my knee and my foot when I switch arms. Do whatever feels good for you today. But I have my right knee on the ground and I'm going to use my right arm first. So coming up overhead and back down, keeping the elbow slightly out in front, trying to make sure we're not leaning over. So if we need to stick that arm out, go ahead and do that. So we're going to do all on one leg and then switching over, on one arm and switching over to the other arm. So like I said, I do like to switch my knee and my foot. Feel free to do whatever feels good for you. So those are gonna be our first 2 movements. Then we're gonna go ahead and stand up. We're gonna do curtsy lunges here, but we're not gonna alternate. So I know generally on this one, I do have us alternate, but I figured we could do a little bit of extra leg work today. So we're gonna do all on one leg and then all on the other leg. So we're stepping back behind diagonal. And if you notice right here, my hips are kind of facing that way. Turn your hips forward. So we want our headlights on our hips to blind the camera, coming down and then back up. So we're coming knee over the second toe. So we'll do all on one foot and then all on the other leg there. So glutes are already feeling that. So I'm probably going to go down to body weight at the end. So that's the first 2 movements / 4 movements. And then after that, we're going to get on the ground and we're going to do plank rows. Okay, so we can either be on the hands and knees or the hands and toes. We're going to grab our dumbbells. I'm going to grab my lighter ones for this one. So if we're on the toes, either way, we want to make sure our belly button is tucked in. So butt to belly button here. Keep that core engaged. One elbow at a time, driving up. Hand goes towards the butt and back down. So if we need to be on the knees, same thing, core is tight, rowing, alternating there. So that's going to be that one. And then finally, we're going to end up with some dead bugs at the end. So we're going to be on our back. And you can either use dumbbells or no dumbbells, whatever feels good, but the hands are going to come up. If you have your dumbbells in your hands, you're not going to move those hands back and forth. But if you are doing the core assist, just using those legs, exhaling and pulling the knee back in. So that is going to be our full circuit for today. So we're going to go ahead and get started real quick with our warm up, and we're going to do the world's greatest stretch. So for that, we're going to be standing up in the front of our space or the top of your space, and we're going to go ahead and interlace our fingers, grab onto the right knee and pull the right knee towards the chest. We're going to take a nice big deep breath. And we're going to exhale, step back into a reverse lunge, hands coming down on the inside of our front foot. We're going to keep that back leg nice and straight. This is going to open up our hips for our curtsy lunges. We're going to do a nice big deep breath. And we're going to exhale, open up towards the front leg, looking at our hand. Thumb is facing the wall behind us, so we're looking at our palm. And on our next exhale, we're going to go ahead and plant the hand outside of our front foot, bring our back leg a little bit closer, and then push our hips up into a nice hamstring stretch. Breathing into that tightness. We're going to do a nice big deep breath. And we're going to exhale, bring our feet together, push the ground away, and stand on up. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So interlace the fingers, grab onto your left knee, pull your left knee towards the chest. Nice, big deep belly breath. And And we're exhaling, stepping back, reverse lunge. Hands on the inside of our front foot. Back leg stays nice and straight, opening up those hips. And nice big deep belly breath. And exhaling, opening up towards the front leg. So again, thumb behind us. We're looking at our palm. That's going to help us open up our back just a little bit more. And on the next exhale, plant the hand outside of our front foot. Bring that back foot a little bit closer and push our hips up into our hamstring stretch. Breathe into those tight areas. And we're going to go ahead and exhale. Bring our feet together. Push the ground away and stand on up. All right. Last part of our warm up here, we're going to warm up our back just a little bit more. So we're going to make our way onto the ground on our hands and knees. And we're going to do 2 rotations on each side. So starting with my right hand here, I'm going to inhale, reach through in between the opposite arm, opposite leg. And exhale, open up towards the ceiling. Again, looking at our hand, thumb is behind us. And we're going to do one more on this side, reach through. And exhale, open up. And then we can go ahead and plant that hand back up underneath our shoulder and do the same thing on the other side. So inhale, reach through. And exhale, open up. And one more, reach through. And exhale, opening up. Now we can go ahead and plant that hand back up underneath our shoulder. We're ready to rock and roll. So we are starting off on the ground, half kneeling. So one knee on the ground, one foot on the ground, grabbing one dumbbell. So we're doing one arm at a time for our overhead presses. I'm going to get the timer going here. 3, 2, 1, and go. So we have one dumbbell, one knee on the ground, one foot on the ground. Elbow is a little bit in front of the shoulder, so we're not all the way out to the side, slightly in front. So we really are working our shoulder muscles versus our joint. Making sure our dumbbell is staying about an inch above the shoulder here, so we're not coming all the way down. We're keeping that constant tension. And if we're struggling to stay nice and level with the shoulders, you can bring your opposite arm out to the side. Core still engaged. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're gonna go ahead and change arms. So I like to switch my feet as well, but if it feels good for you to stay on the other side, feel free. 3, 2, 1. So same thing, nice and tall through the torso, elbow is slightly in front. If you find yourself leaning as you push over, we need to stick that arm out because that's going to help us, but also really zip that core up. So if we act like we're exhaling through a straw, bringing our core together, and then keep that there. That's going to help us stay a little bit more stable through the torso. Great job. It does help if we exhale as we raise our arm up. Keep pushing. One arm can be a little bit tough. 3, 2, 1. All right, great job. We're gonna go ahead, stand on up. We're getting ready for curtsy lunges here. So we're doing all on one foot and then the other foot. So you can grab your other dumbbell. 3, 2, 1. So we're stepping back behind diagonal. Hips are forward. So headlights on our hips, blind the camera. Knee comes right over the second toe. Chest is over the arch of the front foot. And we're driving through the front heel so we feel it in the glutes. So we're coming back, driving up. If you notice too, I'm not standing all the way up. I'm not pushing my hips forward. When we kind of have that slight bend in the knee and in the hip, that gives us the constant tension in the glutes. So it's going to feel a little bit harder. We're going to get a little bit more out of it here. 3, 2, 1. All right. My legs are already tired. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, and then we're going to be on the ground for plank rows. Getting ready here. 3, 2, 1. So again, back behind diagonal, hips are forward, knee coming over that second toe, chest is staying over the arch of the front foot. So when we keep our chest forward, we want to make sure we're not here. We're still straight in the back, but our chest is slightly forward. So we're creating parallel lines between our chest and our shin. That gives us that glute engagement that we're looking for out of the curtsy lunges here. Driving through the front heel. You also might need to play around too with how far back you're stepping. So I know for me, if I'm here, I don't feel that in the front leg. 3, 2, 1. But you might feel it a little bit differently. So playing around with that. We're gonna go ahead, plank rows are next. I'm actually gonna keep these dumbbells for now. So either on the hands and knees or hands and toes. 3, 2, 1. So if we're on the knees, our core is still engaged, butt is tucked into the belly button. We still need those headlights on our hips. They're blinding the ground right now, because what happens if we over rotate, we're going to be using other muscles other than our lats. So we really want to use the back of the armpit here. It's also going to take the core out of it. So it takes more core strength to not rotate. And that's what we're aiming on working on during this movement. Great job. Finish strong. 3, 2, 1. All right. Last movement for round 1. We have dead bugs. So we're on our back. And again, if you're using dumbbells, we're not moving our arms back and forth. 3, 2, 1. So knees directly over the hips. If your knees are in closer, you're going to activate your hip flexors and take your core out of it. So knees come out just a little bit further than we think we need them to. We exhale as we bring the knee in. That's going to help us really activate and engage the core and use the core to bring the knees in. So we don't want to use our hips. We want to use the core here. So that's where the dumbbells come in, can help us use and feel it in the core a little bit more. 3, 2, 1. All right, that is it for round 1. We got 2 more rounds to go, starting off with our half kneeling single arm overhead press. 3, 2, 1. I know it's a few words. Half kneeling. This is that half kneeling. It's a tall half kneeling position because we are nice and tall through our knee and our torso. This really does help us have to use our core a little bit more. This movement also takes our feet out of the equation. So when we do a standing, sometimes it's our legs will help our arms out, which is not a bad thing. But as we are half kneeling, it really forces us to use our shoulders a little bit more to really help with strengthening them. And it helps us learn to use our core as well. 3, 2, 1. All right. Moving over to the other side. So you can either switch your knee and your foot if that feels comfortable. If not, stay where you're at, switching arms. 3, 2, 1. Same thing. Keeping that elbow slightly in front. Right here. Bring it forward. Have the arm out to the side if you need it. Core engaged. Checking everything off the checklist. Ooh, lose my balance there. Great job. Exhaling as we drive the hand up. Definitely already feeling it in my shoulders today. Right, finish this round strong here. 3, 2, 1. All right. Awesome job. We're going to stand up, grabbing our other dumbbell, curtsy lunges. So we're starting off with one leg. You can choose whichever leg you'd like. I'm going to face this way again. 3, 2, 1. So we're nice and tall through our chest and our back, keeping that core engaged. Back behind diagonal. Knee comes forward, driving through that front heel and making sure we're not standing all the way up. We got constant tension here. That's going to help us recruit more muscle fibers, because as our muscles get fatigued, it recruits more and more and more muscles throughout that area. So that's how we help build that strength and also size. Ooh, these are good. I'm struggling through that. 3, 2, 1. Okay. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. That's what I get for actually training this morning. I usually only do cardio on Thursdays, but my glutes are already sore from earlier. 3, 2, 1. So again, back behind diagonal. And like I was saying at the end of last time too, finding your foot placement. So yours is going to look different than mine. It's going to look different than everyone else's, because our leg like length and our stride distance is all going to vary. I like to step a little bit closer, so I'm keeping my weight forward. Personally, if my weight is too far back, I feel it in my back leg. So playing around with what feels good for you, and really just focusing on driving through that front heel. You might have to move a little bit slower on one side, but when we drive through the heel, that's what really activates those glutes. 3, 2, 1. All right. We have plank rows and then dead bugs. And then one more round, and then we'll do a quick cool down stretch and we'll be done for the day. 3, 2, 1. So either hands and knees or hands and toes. I do prefer to use my knees on these ones. Same with like plank arm raises, things like that. Personally, I like it because I feel that I can actually really work on engaging my core as I'm like doing the movement here. So I activate and then pull, versus when I'm here, I feel that one is always going to take over the other. So either I'm focusing on the pull or I'm focusing on my core. So I feel like on my knees, personally, I can focus on both a little bit better. 3, 2, 1. And when you're able to focus on both, you get a little bit more out of the movement, in my opinion. All right, we got dead bugs, and then we got one more round. 3, 2, 1. So keeping that core engaged. So exhale through that straw, bring the core together, and then exhale and act like you're really bringing it together as you bring the knees up. This is really a good movement to help us work on our pillar strength, which is shoulders, hips, and torso, which can really help with all other movements. It'll make squatting easier, picking things up off the ground easier, raising your arms above head. It might help with that as well. Or even pulling the door, pushing the door open, pulling the door open, all that stuff. 3, 2, 1. Can also help with low back tightness as well when we have a stronger core and torso. All right, last round coming on up. Calf kneeling, single arm overhead press. 3, 2, 1. Last round, we're really pushing it. So if we have 2 sets of dumbbells and we've been using a lighter weight this time, pick up the heavier weight for the last round. We're gonna finish strong. We're pushing through. I always say last set, best set. This is our last set of everything. So really focus, push a little harder. It is harder when we are fatigued physically and mentally towards the end of a workout. That's when it's really important to push a little bit harder. And it's kind of like training your body to be able to do things as we are a little bit fatigued. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's go ahead, get ready. We're gonna do the other side and then we're done with our shoulders today. Mentally prepare for this last set. We got this. 3, 2, 1. It's always tough when I have shoulders and legs before, and then we have shoulders and legs during the workout. I did not plan that out that well, but that's okay. That just means I'm getting a little bit stronger mentally and physically because I'm able to push through even when I'm tired. But I will have my recovery reminder here. Pay attention to how you feel. If something doesn't feel right or your body is extra tired, listen to it, take an extra rest day. I had to do that last week for myself. Last Friday, I was not feeling so hot and I ended up not doing my workout and I got a migraine later in the day. So I was listening to my body. 3, 2, 1. All right, we are done with that. We got curtsy lunges. We're gonna do one leg and then the other, and then we're done with our legs today. So we're finishing this round strong. 3, 2, 1. This is really where we gotta dig deep. You know, my legs are feeling it after cardio and a lot of glutes and quads earlier, but really, again, we're becoming stronger. We're pushing through. If this is the hardest part of our day today, we're gonna have a really good day. So always like to keep that in mind too. I always remind myself, like yesterday, I spilled my coffee all over the place before I left. And I was like, well, you know, if this is the worst thing to happen to me today, I'm gonna have a good day. 3, 2, 1. Always keep that in mind. All right, we're gonna do our other leg. And then we got rows, and then we have dead bugs. We're good to go. 3, 2, 1. Also, today is the first day of fall. So happy fall, it's the solstice. That means that we can start to do some more themes in our classes. So if you have any ideas of words you'd like to spell, let me know. We'll start bringing that back. Also means the sun is coming up a little bit later, so it can be a little bit hard to get out of bed. It's also starting to get a little colder outside. So really just making sure we're still staying hydrated. 3, 2, 1. Feel like it's easier to not drink as much water when we're not hot. So still important to keep up that water intake, especially if we're sweating inside. It's a little toasty in here today. We're getting ready for rows. 3, 2, 1, which is really what made me think of it, because I'm like starting to really sweat. And I don't normally during this class. That's why I know the heater is on instead of the AC. Really keeping that core engaged, headlights blinding the ground. Want to squeeze that orange between our shoulder blades so we're staying nice and tall through our torso. We got one more movement after this. I know these ones are a little hard, a little taxing, but you're doing awesome. Finish strong here. 3, 2, 1. All right. Flipping over on our back, last movement. And then after that, we are going to stay on our back for our cool down. So no need to get up unless you need water after. 3, 2, 1. All right. Last movement of the morning. It'll be your last movement of today, unless you're coming to one of the lunchtime classes. So it is Thursday. So we have exercise with Jaden at 12 Pacific. And then at 12:30 Pacific, we have dance with John. And then tomorrow we have 12 and 12:30, both with me. We got functional fitness and guided breathing at 12. And then at 12:30, sports performance and mindset reset. So we got a few more options for classes before the end of the week. If you'd like to try any of them out. 3, 2, 1, and we are done with today's circuit. So like I said, grab a sip of water if you need it. If not, we are going to stay on our backs for our cool down stretches. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to do the figure 4 stretch. We did lots of glutes there with the curtsy lunges. So we're going to open up our hips and our back. So one foot stays on the ground, taking the opposite ankle, crossing it over that knee. And if you push down on your knee and that tension feels good, go ahead and stay there. If you need a little extra tension, go ahead, interlace your fingers and grab either behind your knee or in front of your shin, and then pull your knee towards your chest. We're going to do a few deep breaths here. So in through the nose, into the belly. And exhale through the mouth. Release any tension you feel in your body. Let all of your muscles relax, really sink into the ground. And we'll do one more breath here. And as we finish our exhale, when we're ready, go ahead and place your foot back on the ground, and then we'll do the opposite knee next. So placing it right above your knee. You can push down on your knee, and if that tension feels good, go ahead and stay there. Or we can interlace your fingers, grab either behind the knee or in front of the shin, and then pull your knee towards your chest. This is a great time. So just do a quick body scan. See how your body's feeling, see how your energy is today. Make a note of it. And maybe we can, find one or two things you can do to either improve your energy or maybe do a few more stretches at some point during the day. Yeah, let's do one more breath here. And as we finish our exhale, we can gently bring our feet back to the ground. And you can stay on the ground on your back if you'd like, or you can roll over into a seated, kneeling, or standing position. And that is going to be all the time for total body strength. So great job. Thank you for joining me. And like I said, it is a little cold, so make sure you're still drinking lots of water.